In today's episode, we are hitting the road and we are headed to Albany, Oregon to go thrifting.
This is a lovely still life painting. It looks to be original and it's artist signed and dated on the bottom, and it is $29.99, which for an original painting this size is a bargain. This is something that I can post on Instagram for sale and sell it locally without having to ship it. I should be able to get at least $100 to $125 for it. Still lifes are always sought after. My heart is literally pounding because I know exactly what this is. This is a 1970s Bitossi. I just glanced up and there it was, just sitting in the center of this table with some fake plants in the middle of it. I wish you could feel my heart pounding right now in my chest.
I am actually like trembling. That just happened. I just walked into a thrift store and found the largest, most fabulous Bitossi that I've ever found for $2.99. This is why it's called an addiction, my friends, because you get the thrift high when you find something really, really exciting. Now, I'm not only excited about this because of the value. This is probably worth over $1,500. It's a pretty rare design of Bitossi, but I'm excited because I'm not going to be selling this. I collect Bitossi pottery. This 1960s, 1970s pottery is so hard to find, and this is one of my favorite patterns ever. So I'm beyond excited right now. This is one of the best days I've had in a long time thrifting, and the funniest part is that I almost didn't pull over. I was going to Goodwill instead of Super Thrift, and at the last second I saw an open spot in front and I was like, I might as well pop in real quick just in case. And this, my friends, is why you go in just in case. You have to go to thrift stores frequently and often to find something like this. I'm just out of my mind excited. I'm so excited.
This velvet couch from the 1970s is so amazing. I love the pattern on it. It has the perfect color palette. It even has the original 2 side pillows with it. This is amazing. It's in almost perfect condition, and look at the detail on the back, how it's curved down on the corners. It's $59.99, and even though I can't fit this in my car today, it is going to be worth the drive to come back to get this. Here's a really simple but nice vintage mid-century era teak salt and pepper shaker. It's just a single one. I don't see the other one to go with it, and it doesn't have a price on it, but we're gonna ask at the front counter. Sometimes items get separated when processing and put out at different times, often by different employees who might think that item belongs on a different shelf than the other person. So if you find part of a set when you're out thrifting, make sure that you scour every single shelf in that store because you never know where it might have gotten placed. Even shoppers pick up items, put them in their cart, change their mind, and put them on a different shelf. This is a Ted DeGrazia art piece, and it's got the original mid-century era frame. It's only $12.99, and I'm going to pop in some comps so you can see what this might be worth. This stunning oil painting is by the artist Elaine Dangil, and it's only $14.99. This is an incredible deal. This painting is worth easily $200, possibly close to $300. And the best part, it's an absolutely beautiful painting. I'm so excited. This is the first time I have found one of her originals. This is fascinating. So this is by the artist Erte. That's the name he was known for his art, but his name was Romain de Tirtov. And if you don't know about his art, you've got to look it up. I will put some links in the description below if you're interested in learning more about him. What's interesting about this one is that this is actually a silk scarf that somebody framed. It's of his artwork titled Top Hats, and even though this is a silk scarf and not a painting or print, it is still worth several $100s. We are doing incredible thrifting today. Make sure to stay tuned till the end of the video because I am going to take out these items, show them up close to you, and talk a little bit more in detail on them. Now we're going to stop at a Goodwill on our way back home, and this is one that's a little bit out of the way, but I always do good here, so I get excited whenever I'm in the area. We are at the McMinnville, Oregon Goodwill. Here's a nice set of carved wooden plates. They are really thick. It's surprising. They've got cool figural details carved all around the rim. And I don't know what you see, but I think I see some kind of a critter, maybe an owl. They are $3.99, and we're going to go ahead and get this whole stack. This is a beautiful vintage Italian Florentine music box. It is $6.99. Even if the music box doesn't work, that can be replaced, or you can always take that out, plug the little hole, and turn it into a jewelry or catch-all box. I am always on the hunt for critters. This cute little leopard or cheetah. Is it a cheetah or a leopard? It's a little bit on the orangey side for a cheetah. Anyways, it's $2.99. I'm not sure if this is vintage or not, but it sure is cute, so we're gonna get it. Wow, this is my first time finding these Persian marquetry clocks here in Goodwill. I have found trinket boxes, jewelry boxes, music boxes, but I've never found the clocks before. They're $19.99 each, but I know that that is actually a really good price for what these are valued at. Stay tuned to the end of the video because I have an idea for what else I could use these for. This is a really nice heavy cast metal wall sconce candle holder, and it's $6.99. I wish there was a second one because these look beautiful flanking a fireplace or even just displayed on a wall in a pair. I'll keep looking around the store just in case I find a second one. What on earth is this majestic, beautiful dog doing just sitting on this top shelf right now? It is $12.99. I'm not sure how old this is, but it is sure stylized in the Art Deco style, and I love it.
Today we are switching it up and we are going to be going to antique stores. We've done amazing so far at the thrift stores, but for today's picking, I wanted to show you that you can find high valued items at antique stores. Typically, I look for designer pottery, signed original artwork, and jewelry. Those are my three go-tos, but honestly, anything that I can find that I think is beautiful and valuable, we're going to get today.
One of the things that I always invest in is art. Art can sell really well, and I feel like it's something that people are constantly on the lookout for in their homes. And when I'm looking for art, I'm not just looking for original paintings, but I'm looking for things that are a little bit different and that you just don't see every day. This art is interesting to me because it appears to be some kind of a copper or bronze. It's a great size. The frame needs a little bit of work, but I think that this could be beautiful styled in the right setting. And it's on sale for only $32. If it's not obvious by now, my recent trip to Japan has seriously influenced my style. I have always loved Japanese pottery and kokeshi dolls, but now I am finding myself more and more drawn to the scenery of Japan along with porcelain. This cake stand is stunning. It reminds me of the Blue Willow, and it actually was not made in Japan. It's by Brownfield and Sons out of England, and I'm not sure how old this one actually is. It appears to be in perfect condition, but I know that this pattern was made, I believe, all the way back to the late 1800s. I'm going to go with that this is a newer production by the company at a much later time, but it would be lovely if I was wrong and that this was actually that old. They had it listed for only $18 and the space was on sale, so I'm getting it for only $13.50. Even if this is a reproduction, that is an incredible price. I also got a little bit into hand-painted porcelain when I was in London, England on our group trip, and I got really into it with our guide Steve when we were talking to a couple different vendors who had a lot of knowledge of the craft. This is not as old as the stuff that we were looking at, but I do think it's a really beautiful one. It's artist signed and they're only asking $15 for it. I'm 99% sure that this is not an Italian Gatti ceramic dove, but man, it is so similar in style. Either way, I love it, and I can always use it for decorating if it's just a copy or a knockoff. I'm pretty sure that this is an incense holder. It's giving me vibes that it's pretty old, and you can see the little hole in the very top section. When we get back to the studio, I'm going to test it out with an incense stick and see if I'm correct, because I'm thinking that all of these little areas will catch the incense ash as it burns down. This is one of my favorite Swedish candelabras. It's only $45. Now, it is a little bit rusty and it needs some love, but that's a really good price for this. My friend Nancy actually found one of these last year when we were out picking together, although hers was in pretty much perfect condition. Now I just need to get this cleaned up, and I will show you how I'm going to do that back at the studio. Now we are going to pop into Wine Country Antiques in Newberg, Oregon. I haven't been here in a little bit. This has always been one of my favorite stops. Here's a great studio pottery vase. It's only $15. I love the southwestern design across the top, and it's a perfect neutral one, which is always great for mixing and matching. Here's a nice trio of very patinaed brass candle holders. I like the shape on these, and they are only $16 for the set of 3. I never film picking the jewelry because I've got to have my hands free while I'm looking through it and checking it out, but I will show you my jewelry haul at the end of this episode. And just as I was getting ready to check out, I spotted these amazing Hollywood Regency glam lamps sitting behind the cash register. And guess how much they are? $100 for both. This is a beautiful hand-turned wooden vase. It's only $12.95, and it is artist signed on the back by Bernard H. Yates Jr. Well, Bernard, you made a beautiful vase, and I'm so happy that I'm getting it for only $12.95. I wish that this coat rack was actually teak and not oak, but I love the minimalist, simple, kind of traditional classic design. It's nice and sturdy and solid, and even though it's $39.95, I feel like you would pay that much for a coat rack from IKEA. And I am also going to be getting this antique table because it is the perfect height and size for a wrapping station back at the studio. I just need to switch out that little knob, and I have the perfect one to switch it out with. It is so fun to see all of my Bitossis together. This is actually the first time that I've done this, where I've pulled out all of them and put them on the same shelf. I wouldn't typically display them all together like this just because it's too much of the same material and I like to really mix things up a bit. But at the same time, it's nice to see all of these finds that I have been sourcing all over the world in one place. We've got our new star of the show, and as you can see, the largest Bitossi that I've ever found before. And I put this next to this one without any plant in it because it's so sculptural. I don't think this one even needs to have a plant. I really like to leave some without plants and some with plants. And I do like mixing textures like this. Obviously, this one's very glossy and shiny. And I sourced this one on my trip to North Dakota, but I actually found this one, I believe, in Minneapolis. Bitossi for you, Bitossi for you, Bitossi for you, Bitossi for everyone. This was my very first Bitossi that I ever found, and I didn't know it was a Bitossi for over a year. I saw the Made in Italy stamp on the back, but I wasn't sure what that meant at the time, and I found this at Goodwill for only $3.99 years and years and years ago. I wish I could just explain to you how to identify a Bitossi, but I still am learning myself. In fact, when I found this cat in Florence, Italy, the next day I toured the Bitossi factory in Montelupo, Italy, which there's a full video on, and I will link that in the description because if you have not seen it and you want to learn about Bitossi, it was one of the best days ever, and Jesse and I got so much information about Bitossi. But while I was there, I actually saw the mold for this cat, which I knew that this in the Rimini Blue was Bitossi, and I knew that Bitossi had produced some of this kind of acid washed pottery before, but it was signed Sardinia. And so I thought it was a different company that actually had copied Bitossi, but it was indeed a collaboration with Bitossi. So there is so much to learn. I'm still learning every day. And my biggest recommendation is to join the Facebook identification group for Bitossi and Italian pottery. They have the most incredible, extensive archives. And that's how I've been able to find out a lot of the names of the different patterns. There's so much that you can learn there. So I highly recommend joining that Facebook group if you're interested in learning about Italian pottery. Who remembers when I found this Bitossi at Snyder's Hill Antique Mall for only $9.95? That was a really, really good moment for me. I'm trying not to freak out. I think this Bitossi says $10. It does. Oh my God. I'm so excited. After finding the cat in Florence, a year later, we found the dog in Nashville, Tennessee at an antique market, and I only paid $10 for this. A Bitossi dog. I picked this massive beauty up at a flea market in Miami, and I actually brought this home in my carry-on. I was too scared to put it in my checked bag, so I carried it onto the airplane with me.
Rosenthal knitting.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, this is great. The top is great.
I found this ashtray at the Charleston Antique Mall in Las Vegas, and I actually picked up 2 of them, and I sold one of them because we're non-smokers, but I did like the idea of having this to keep matches in next to all of my candles. I thought that was kind of a cool way to display it. So currently it's just kind of hanging out here.
2 ashtrays. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do both of those.
I found this one up in Washington at Poulsbo Antiques. Here is my haul. I'm so excited right now. This is a beautiful Aldo Landi Bitossi vase. And then this vase and the prized bowl that I'd been looking for years, I sourced at a thrift store, although I didn't technically thrift it. I've got a whole video on how that story unfolded and how one of my amazing subscribers hooked me up with this beautiful bowl. So if you want to check that out, I will link that in the description below. I feel like I'm gonna have lots of video links for me finding all of these items because they're good videos and I hope you go back and watch them. This is one of my favorites because it has that kind of natural brown texture, but it also has the blue that goes so well with the Rimini Blue series. So it kind of is a crossover piece where it ties in both my love of the more organic Bitossis and the Rimini Blue. I found this beauty in Bruges, Belgium at the flea market that I am actually taking a group of 20 of you to in just a few weeks. I am so excited to go shop that market with all of the travelers. It's gonna be an amazing trip. And of course, I'm gonna film it too, so you will get to see what we find at that flea market. And I have one more Bitossi that is not on the shelf and that you've never seen me find. I took a clip of me finding this a couple years ago at Goodwill for $2.99. Bitossi made a ton of birds and they are so cool when they stand up on their legs. I have a couple metal legs that I took off of a different planter that I think might work, but I still need to find a wooden base in order to make it stand correctly. So this is a project piece that I'm gonna get working on, but no chips, no cracks, and it was only $2.99. I thought it'd be fun to see if anybody can identify a couple of the pottery items that are not Bitossi on this shelf. This is by another famous mid-century era potter that I collect. Anybody know who this is by? If you guess correct, I will pin it in the comments below. And then you have my beautiful ladies. I know who both of these are by, but I want to see if you know.
I want to give a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
As many of you know, I have been selling on my own Squarespace website for over 9 years now, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. Launching my own vintage shop on my own website was the best decision I ever made for Left Coast Revivals. Squarespace gives you everything to sell anything. You can go from your big ideas to a published site quickly with beautifully designed templates. They make e-commerce easy with everything you need to power your online store. Whether you're selling vintage like me or you're wanting to launch that blog that you have been dreaming of doing for years, or whether you are in the travel industry and you are hosting group trips, Squarespace makes it so easy for you to build out your website and start building your brand. There are endless beautiful templates to get you started and make it so easy. And then you can build off of those templates to customize it to fit your brand and to fit your products. There is no reason not to give it a shot. You can start your free trial today at squarespace.com.
Head to squarespace.com to start your free trial today. And when you are ready to launch your own website, head to squarespace.com/leftcoast to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. A huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
Seriously, what a good haul for only 2 days of picking. Sometimes surprise myself when I get home and I start pulling everything out and I realize just how many great things I found in 2 days. I only caught a glimpse of purchasing these, but I got these in Newberg and they were only $100 for the pair from the antique store. These are so glam, Hollywood Regency, and I've seen a pair very similar to this sell online for $250. So I knew I could at least double my money. But honestly, if I stage these really well and get all the little crystals cleaned up and shined up, I wouldn't be surprised if I could get closer to $300 for the pair. I also wood oiled these and it really brought the color out. And I'm pretty convinced that those are little owl faces. What do you think? Do you see the little face there? This was from Snyder's Hill Theater Antique Mall, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to use this at my house, here at the studio, or if I'm going to sell it. So you'll have to wait to figure out what I decide on this one. I also oiled up this little single teak salt shaker. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find the second one, but there are so many people out there who are also missing one, so I thought I might as well just sell it as a single one. And look how stunning this beautiful porcelain, English-made but Japanese-style cake stand is. It's got the signature on the bottom, so I'll show you that. The signature is hard to see, which is maybe why the vendor might have missed it. Let me go ahead and I'm going to do a super zoom for you here. I can't even get it to show up when I super zoom in, so I'll take a picture and then try zooming in and show you that. And I found another Ted DeGrazia. This is the groom, and sadly I did not find the mirrored image of the bride. I looked through all of the artwork twice just in case, but I didn't find her there. So if one of you out there has the bride and you're missing the groom, I've got the groom for you. I still can't believe that I found this at Goodwill. What do you think? Do you think it's Hollywood Regency, kind of 1960s to look Art Deco? Or do you actually think this could be from the 1930s, 1940s? Is this a Whippet or a Greyhound? I wasn't quite sure. I think I manifested these two because I recently said in a video that I was looking for more critters for my online shop and to decorate with, and then magically, there they are, right in my life. This one was really cute too. I think I'm gonna actually keep this one for staging because it's the perfect size for putting on a stack of books. Kind of reminds me of Lorenzo, my cat. Look at this awesome wall sconce. This one's beefy. That's nice and heavy. Not bad for a Goodwill find. I need to wood oil this frame still. It's looking a little bit rough, but what I think I'm gonna do is do a light sanding so that you don't get any slivers if you touch it, and then I'll give it a stain. That will help even all the color out. I thought this copper was really neat. A massive burlwood clock. This one is gonna go to our stash in our garage at home because I am gonna switch out these hands. They're pretty rusty and I'm not quite sure if it keeps time or not, but I'm going to put some more minimalist, simple hands on it. And these clocks are amazing and valuable. So hear me out on this. I was considering taking the clocks apart and actually turning these into picture frames. And I can just pop these open, take out the clock insides and use them as frames, but keep everything so that I can easily add it back together. I pick up the frames and trinket boxes every time I come across these, and I just think they are the most beautiful picture frames. I have 3 or 4 other rectangles and square frames saved, and I just think it would look incredible having a couple of these square yet circular on the inside frames mixed in. Again, I would keep everything so that it could be put back together and still eventually sold in the original condition. I just think it would be incredible, especially look mixing the colors. You've got a more green based one, and then this one's more red, and I think I have another one that's almost more yellow tone. My mom had a large box that she put all of the mail into when it came out of the mailbox. I've always loved these. I think part of it is the nostalgia behind it, but also the incredible craftsmanship and detail. I think they're stunning. Let me know in the comments below what you think I should do, and should I go ahead and just do a design episode? Because I want you to see the finished product if I make these into frames. And I'm really excited about the art that I found. She is just stunning, and this is the first time I've ever found a piece of art by this artist, and I love to learn about new artists to look for. I love everything about this piece. She's beautiful, the color palette's amazing, and I love the shape of the artwork. And then the pretty hand-painted porcelain, the still life. Well, it got about half of the rust off using just the fine steel wool and some blue Dawn soap. I wanted to give that a try first and just see what we're working with. It definitely got the thicker sections off, but as you can see, there's still some rust. So I've got some other options, but before I do anything else, I wanted to know if you have any suggestions for what you think would be the easiest way and safest way to not damage the metal and get all of this rust off. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite tricks for removing rust are. I've been filming a time lapse for 20 minutes and the ash has not fallen. It's just still at the top. I might have slanted the incense stick a little bit too much. We're gonna kind of see what happens here if I turn it. So it didn't land in there, but I think it's because I have it slanted too much. I just noticed though that each of these has a hole in it. Do you think you burn a bunch of incense and then it's supposed to fall into each one? That's what I'm now thinking. I was also thinking you could use it for cone incense too, where you actually set the incense in here. I'll pull out a cone so that you can see what I'm talking about there. Here's one of my favorite incense. It's the red cedar incense. It smells like a forest when you light it. So it would definitely work like this with the cones. And usually you'll see things that are more shaped in an actual cone. This just happens to be the way that the ones that I have are. But I think that that would work really well. You would probably want to have this in a very large room or open air because otherwise it's going to smell intense with incense. I picked up some really wonderful jewelry today. I'm going to start with this stunning turquoise ring. I love the color of this turquoise stone. It's got a little bit of those golden chunks and it's that beautiful, just kind of tropical sea turquoise turquoise color. Nice split shank band. It was $85. And while that does seem like a pretty high price, this is a very nice piece of turquoise, and it's a nice southwestern ring that is worth at least $125 to $150. So still really good margins. And I love this store, so I love supporting them. And then I also got these adorable little Zuni bear fetish earrings. These were only $8, and they have sterling ear wire too. So that was a really good deal on those. Fabulous Mexican sterling soda light ring. It's got that beautiful blue stone, and it's got a cool carved shape to it. See how it follows the contour of the sterling silver ring? Really nice ring, and this one was only $25. This is probably my favorite one I got today. I love this band ring so much. It was $20, only $20. Isn't that design fabulous? This one was $18. This is also Mexican sterling. I just love that thick, chunky, stacked look when you layer rings like that. And then I got one more little delicate ring. I liked the design on this going around it, and this one was $10. A stack of 3 bangles. This one's a nice one, sterling out of India. $30 for the set of 3. I felt like that was a really good price. Small jewelry haul, but I'm very excited to be able to bring these to the shop. So here's the knob that I'm going to switch out the little white one with. And this was originally a World Market knob, and I got it at Goodwill for $2.99. It just fits my style and aesthetic better than the original one. I will go ahead and keep that one just in case I ever decide to sell this, but it is going to work perfect for the shipping table. Okay, so here's where I'm thinking I might actually put this rack. It's a little bit weird because it wouldn't be as high as a typical coat rack, and it wouldn't work for long coats, but it would work perfect for what I actually put by the door the most, which are tote bags and grocery shopping bags. If I put it here, there's still plenty of room to sit, to put your shoes on the bench, and I just thought it'd be great for putting tote bags by the door. Haven't decided yet. It might be weird to have a coat rack so low, but might actually be really functional too.
Thank you so much for joining me and going thrifting with me today. I hope that you are having as good of luck as I had today wherever you are thrifting. I will see all of you in a brand new episode very soon.